The affirmative claims that terminal patients should have the right to control over their lives and their bodies and to be able to die comfortably and with dignity. I have a story from the Daily Signal about Jeanette Hall. So she was diagnosed with colon cancer and she was expected to die from 6 months to a year, and she had a very low chance of surviving. And she basically gave up, and she was saying things like, I don't want to live, just give me the barbiturates and call it good. But her cancer doctor, Dr. Stevens, in a last effort, convinced Hall against the death by asking her if she would like to see her son graduate and to grow up. And that is what kept her back, and now she's alive and she is cured, and she is celebrating her 70th birthday. And this just shows how, no matter how old or conscious you are with making your decisions, there's always going to be a certain flaw or emotional backup to your thoughts. Also, allowing physicians to dispense drugs to assist in killing has an insidious effect on families who support seniors. So from procon.org states that the number of patients in Oregon reporting on a concern about being a burden on their family increased from 12% in 1998 to 63% in 2000, subsequent to the passage of the Oregon's physician-assisted suicide law. Physician-assisted suicide creates, in practice, a frightening duty to die. Frightening because the practice of physician-assisted suicide has been known to be imperfect means of death. Like in a Dutch study, fully 20% of patients that was given considered a lethal dose lived for more than 3 hours, and in some cases, requiring the physician to intervene with a lethal injection would be illegal under Oregon law. Also, Oregon's assisted suicide social experiment is poorly conducted and managed. The immunity, from the same source, the immunity offered to physicians under the Oregon assisted law requires only good faith compliance with the law. There is no protection for the depressed or mentally ill. In 2003 to 2004, 5% of those dying from assisted suicide had a mental health constellation. There are published reports of a patient being diagnosed by psychiatrists as having dementia and still receiving a lethal dose. There's also no monitoring of Oregon's assisted suicide. In 2004, their prescribing doctor was present at the time the patient took the lethal doses of sleeping drugs in only 6 of the 37 deaths. And the affirmative also says that assisted suicide is illegal in 44 states, and that many people cannot accept the idea of ending their lives, sometimes because of religion or personal ethics. So this could damage the patient-doctor relationship. Dr. Chiari is a medical ethicist at UCI. He believes that SB 128, which is the bill, the right to die bill, could damage the patient-doctor relationship by undermining people's trust in their physician to care for them and to help navigate their illness, treatment, and eventually death. Dr. Nguyen, who is a palliative specialist, says he tells patients who say they want to die that he can't hasten death, and that once he helps them understand the process and fears they're experiencing, their requests tend to fall away. So he says that doctors who oppose assisted suicide also worry about potential abuses with the lack of safeguards. They're concerned about how it will impact vulnerable communities such as the disabled, mentally ill, or the elderly, who they believe could be influenced by financial or family factors. This PAG also opposes the Hippocratic Oath. The Hippocratic Oath is an oath that doctors take that states the obligations and proper conduct of doctors. The Hippocratic Oath proclaims, I will keep the sick from harm and injustice. I will neither give a deadly drug to anybody who asks for it, nor will I make a suggestion to this effect. Finally, the affirmative also says that the solution to this relies on the legalization of PAS in all states. But according to a statistic, many Americans do not support PAS. A Marist poll in 2016, sponsored by Knights of Columbus, found that 61% of Americans do not support physician-assisted suicide, and 57% said that the legalization of such measures would lead to distrust their doctors. Only 22% said that they would issue a legislative priority this year. And the affirmative also mentions that Oregon, that all states should adopt the Oregon's Death with Dignity law. And this may be abused to improper self-reporting. The data, Alex Schonenberg is the executive director of Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, warns that the number could be higher. He says the data in Ontario assisted death report is based on reported deaths. Ontario has instituted a self-reporting system whereby doctors who carry out the death is also the doctor who sends the report. There is no third-party oversight of death. Therefore, the report will not indicate if the doctor injected the patient under questionable circumstances, because the doctor will not self-report abuse of a law, and if the doctor didn't submit the report to the coroner, the data will simply remain unknown. He was also concerned that the Ontario coroner report listed other as the underlying condition for euthanasia in 8% of deaths. That's good.